Hey guys, we're back. I don't know how to interact with cameras anymore. It's been so long. But last video we ranked the Yonko, including Kaido and Big Mom. In this video, we're going to be ranking the Gorosei, even the dead ones, or the dead one.
Yeah.
I don't know who you have at number 6, right? It would be 6 because we had 5, one's dead, now we have a new one. Who do you have at 6 personally? Which would be the weakest. We're going from weakest to strongest here.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because we did the Yonko one, and I think everybody kind of has like the same-ish list, but for the Gorosei, it's more abstract, right? You're pulling from less threads than the Yonko. So number 6, it may surprise you because this is my favorite Gorosei member in terms of design, but Jupiter's at the bottom of that list. Jupiter is number 6. Sad to say, I love his ability, I love everything he's done, but he just didn't have the most impact on Egghead comparative to the rest. Like, he sucks things in and then he spits them out, but like, it's cool, it's strong, but like compared to everybody else, it's just, you know, he's bottom of the pack for me. And it's weird because he is the number 1 Gorosei. That is his insignia. So like, you would think that he would be top of the verse or something, but I got him at the bottom right now. Jupiter.
Yeah, sadly, me too.
Really?
When I started One Piece, I wasn't into Dune yet. We're going to be talking about Dune every now and then. But now that I am into Dune, he's a freaking sandworm. And it's pretty much like the sandworm from Dune. I think Frank Herbert, the author of Dune, invented that concept. The giant worm that exists in sand. So I guess that's what it has to be, right? That's what Oda is pulling from? Or is there some kind of yokai that's a sandworm?
Yeah, there's a Mongolian deathworm, but the deathworm and the sandworm from Dune, they have completely different movesets. Like, the Mongolian deathworm has like electricity, poison, paralysis, whereas the sandworm is all about, you know, sucking and spitting. And even in like a lot of fantasy games, they have the sandworm as opposed to a deathworm, or they have 2 separate categories. So I would say that Oda does lean more towards Dune than the Mongolian myth. But yeah, there's no yokai about a giant sandy worm. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that was just my little tangent about Jupiter. He's just, he doesn't have the best feats. He didn't really do much. He got his freaking head chopped off by Dory and Bragi. That didn't sit well with me. It still doesn't, but it's whatever. Man, the only redeeming thing is that he's the traitor, right? That's his redeeming thing, if he is, ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, he does seem a little bit suspicious, especially when Garland gets promoted, right? You have that one panel where Jupiter, comparative to everybody else, is also like sweating the most. It's like, oh wait, like something's going on here. Like, it's either he doesn't like Garland or, you know, something is amiss in his mind. But yeah, Jupiter, I still think he has a lot going for him. I just think Egghead wasn't his best showing. And we haven't seen his hybrid yet, right? Because we've only seen his full Zoan. When he drops the hybrid form of half man, half worm, I think he could suck off a mean one.
I mean, I hope he does. I hope I'm the mean one that he does wind up sucking. But speaking of sucking, I should say, I have Saturn at number 5.
Oh, me too. Holy crap. Our lists are very similar. Jesus. Yeah, Saturn number 5. He didn't look bad. You know, he's not Yonko level. You know, he's not like beating Luffy or pushing Luffy to any crazy extents, but I thought his showings were pretty decent. I think him blowing off heads, him having like minor conquerors hockey, it's great across the board. But at the end of the day, you know, like, he's really just a paralysis merchant, right? Like, after he stopped paralyzing people, he kind of got cooked left and right. He couldn't hit Luffy at all. Like, I mean, he missed every single hit. Not a single attack landed afterwards. Except for like the headshot, but Luffy just obviously like Gatlinged him afterwards. So yeah, I got him at number 5.
Very disappointed in Saturn. Cool design, but man, it's so interesting how he was around for so long, like 20 years, and he ultimately was just kind of a punching bag for Bonnie and Kuma. Like, that was his ultimate fate. It's just so bizarre what wound up happening.
And he lost limbs easily too, right? I mean, I guess all the Gorosei kind of lost limbs easily. Like, Jupiter got cut off, like you said. But Saturn, like, you know, a building fell on this guy, and boom, there goes his hand and his horn, and just, I was like, dang, dude, really? Like, that easy? Like, paper bones? What's going on here?
Yeah,
Daffy
went through like a city getting punched by Gear 4, and he was just kind of dirty a little bit. He was fine.
Yeah. And then Saturn's just, you know, losing every bone in his body.
Yeah, Saturn's just disappointing. But who wasn't disappointing to me is number 4, who I have, Mars.
Oh, you got Mars at number 4. Okay, this is where our list starts to like differentiate a little bit.
Okay.
At number 4, I have Warkuri, if that's how you even pronounce it. But the giant boar, the boar yokai.
Yeah, I go off of your pronunciation with that Warkuri.
I think Warkuri sounds somewhat correct. I feel like when we get the Japanese dub, that's how they're going to pronounce it anyways. But for me, it's Warkuri. I think he looked great. You know, I love the whole thing where he did the Conqueror's Haki roar and knocked out a bunch of Marines, which, you know, friendly fire, by the way. It didn't knock out any of the Straw Hats or Pirates, but it knocked out a couple of his own boys. I thought that was sick either way. He's shown a lot of durability because he tanked like a couple of punches as well. Like the guy's a monster. But I have him at number 4 just because I was a little bit unimpressed with his moveset, I would say. Like, it's really just him ramming his head into things. And then, of course, he has, like, the sword tusk, but even then, it's like, it's not like he's doing, you know, two tusk style or anything. It's kind of just there.
Yeah, now that I think about it, he didn't really have anything exciting or different. He was just ramming boar tactics. I don't know, but,
yeah.
I guess one of his redeeming qualities could be that he could swim for some reason, maybe. Even though, I guess Oda still wants us to, like, question if the Gorosei can survive in water or not.
Oh yeah, wait. I don't think anybody got like knocked into water that we've seen. Like I feel like there's been instances where people got hit and they should have fallen in water, but when we look at them, they're not in water. So it's like,
yeah, it's strange.
Yeah, I think Oda's keeping that a mystery still, like you said. But you said you have Marcus Mars at number 4.
Yeah, I have Mars at 4 simply because I don't know, he didn't fight like one-on-one as much as Mercury, or just fight as much in general, I guess. But I just got the impression that Mercury was like a beast among the Gorosei. Like he was like a powerhouse among them. Like his Conqueror roar, Luffy kind of like was impressed by it or something, and like Luffy punching him like hurt his hand, right? And like he had the big flaming.
Yeah.
So I just got the. I mean, yeah, he did get like whatever Dory and Bragi were doing with the shield, right? They like knocked him. They rocked him, right?
Yeah. They like carried him a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, Dory and Bragi, man, they're just messing up everything.
Bro, 1.8 billion each. Yeah, the reason why I have Marcus Mars, so mine is kind of flipped from yours. I got Marcus Mars at number 3, and the only reason is because I feel like his moveset is a little bit more varied than Mercury. I feel like in battle he's just better overall. Like we saw him go up to the Lambo phase, he instantly like destroyed multiple buildings with his blast. Of course he could fly, which I think is a huge plus already. And then we had that moment where it took like this crazy combination attack between Gear 5th, Frankie, Sanji, Bonnie, and the Giants to like really take him down and send him flying, which was a little bit silly, but I think Marcus Mars has been really impressive to me. And, you know, this goes for Marcus Mars, Warkri, and Jupiter, but we haven't seen their hybrids, man. Like, I feel like once we see their hybrids, I feel like Marcus Mars will be even crazier. Like, I'm just imagining a guy flying through the sky shooting beams, and it's like, yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, that's really busted in the One Piece world to have that move set for sure. Yeah, I like his Devil Fruit the most. Devil Fruit. I like his transformation the most. It's so interesting. Like in this corner of the community, it seems like everybody's so convinced that they don't have devil fruits. But if you go to like, you know, the One Piece subreddit or something, hardly anybody thinks that. They just think, oh, they're just devil fruits.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. And I understand why people want to automatically assume it's devil fruits, because that's what we're familiar with, right? Like 100% of the powers we've seen in One Piece are essentially devil fruits anyways, minus like Polly, who has just crazy rope affinity. But I just feel like there's so many oddities about the Gorosei, even with Saturn's death, right? Like Imu just came in out of nowhere and killed the guy. It's like, okay, how did he do that? Is that a power? Is it because they're connected? You know, there's a lot of questions, in my opinion, still about these guys. Even the way Oda introduced them, like, he didn't say that these guys have devil fruits. He just said that they're transformations. But to be fair, that's what he kind of did with Stussy. And then Stussy later was revealed to have a devil fruit and a Vibri card, so... I think a lot of things are still up in the air about these guys, but I don't think it's devil fruits personally.
It's fair enough.
Too many weird things.
Yeah. So I guess we both have Samurai Gandhi for number 2.
Yeah, unfortunately. I don't want to be like a swordsman, you know, Samurai Gandhi Glazer, but he really did have like the best showing overall, in my opinion. just cutting the Labo phase Cloud in half is nuts. I just thought that was crazy. And then of course, like, you got all of the people up in the Labo phase also saying, hey, you know, if Venus runs over to us, he's gonna destroy the Sunny. Like, we have to take care of this guy first before we go. And then Atlas had to blow herself up just to buy them some time. I think his showing was great overall. Oh yeah, he even had the thing where he destroyed all 50 pacifistas, or at least froze them in place. The only thing that holds me back is the Oimo and Kashi scene. I thought that was too ludicrous in my opinion.
Yeah.
I get it. The Giants have crazy hype coming into Elbath, but my god. Like, Dorian Brogy holding down to Gorosei is one thing. Oimo and Kashi? Crazy.
Yeah, again, I remember the feeling that I had seeing that at the time. Just not the best way to introduce these guys, just in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It might look different anyway, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be pretty
like,
fun.
Maybe in the end, like, they're going to add in, like, some dialogue where Venus is like, oh, these guys are nothing. Like, he starts ripping them off. Like, it's going to be, like, a really quick glance over scene. And then, you know, the anime watchers are going to be like, oh, what were the manga people talking about?
Yeah, I hope so.
You know, from the manga perspective, it's crazy.
It needs that. But I agree, yeah. He's definitely one of the most impressive. He looks the coolest. We've actually seen his hybrid form. And he, you know, has supreme grade blade. And he is for sure destined to fight Zoro, so he has to be at least stronger than King. So he's got to be up there for sure. He seems to be one of the more competent ones. Solid number 2. I would have had him at number 1, if not for who we both have for number 1. That is
Garling.
Figureland Garling. So here's
kind of funny.
Here's a better question.
Yeah.
Was he stronger than all of the Gorosei before he became one?
I feel like yes. I definitely feel like he was, which is hilarious to say, by the way. Like, we both have Garling at number 1, and I think a lot of other people I talked to about this list as well, like, they also have Garling at number 1. Despite Garling having no tangible feats. Like, we know where he's been at, right? He's been at God Valley. He potentially fought Rox and Roger and all of them, but we haven't seen it. Yet, despite all of that, despite seeing the rest of the Gorosei all being these awakened monsters, people still have Garling at number 1, and I agree. I mean, the Shanks tax is crazy, right? Being the father or uncle or whatever, being related to Shanks is nuts, base level. But knowing he was from that golden age, knowing that he got that promotion into Gorosei, like, there's so many things with this. And, like, here's the thing. If he didn't have a transformation before, during God Valley, he has a transformation now because all the Gorosei have it. Like, dude, when Oda picks a thematic with a crew or a group of people, he sticks with it. So Garling is not going to be the odd man out who doesn't have a fruit, who doesn't have a transformation. He's going to have one. It's just a matter of what is it. And I mean, the hype that comes with that is just nuts altogether, man. Absolutely insane.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, it is pretty funny. Like, all of these guys have feats except Garling, who's number 1, and then yeah, it's just based off of hype and history. Do you think that Garling is stronger than Shanks?
If we were to compare Prime Garling to Shanks, I would say yes. But of course, again, like I said, that's all based on feeling. But right now, I think Shanks is stronger. I feel like in One Piece, there's this ongoing thematic with the newer generation overtaking the old. Like, you know, in the future, Luffy's going to be stronger than Roger. In the future, Kobe's probably going to be stronger than Garp. And, you know, like, I just feel like that's how One Piece is. It's all about passing it down. So with Shanks being the newest version of the Garling, I feel like he will be stronger. He is probably stronger considering his age right now compared to Garling. And I just feel like that's the case.
Yeah.
And if he's not stronger yet, he will be during their battle, or at least he'll grow during the fight.
Yeah, it could be like a similar power relationship to like Garp and Kuzan. You know, like Kuzan obviously was getting beat down, but you know, it's like he eventually overcame him. I mean, yeah, he got some help, but I think it was kind of telling us that, like, yeah, even in One Piece, old guys still do have a limit.
Tyson.
Yeah. But that is
Mike
it.
Tyson versus Jake Paul.
Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul is a great example of what One Piece is like, kind of. Old guys could just be ripped, powerful, and then they could fight against guys half their age, and it's still competitive. Not even taking in consideration backstage politics or whatever. We all know that fight was 100% legitimate. They were trying to knock each other out, just like Aki Inu and Kuzan were. That was a real fight. Nothing talked about backstage at all.
There, right?
But yeah, that's it, guys. We both have Garling at number 1 because he is very likely to be the strongest of the Gorosei for sure, with Samurai Gandhi maybe not even being a close second. But once again, I want to thank Sai for coming on the channel, talk about this stuff. Check his channel out. I'll have it in the description as always. And have a great day.